Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to my LEGO reviews. It's been a while, hasn't it? What, like 3 or 4 months? Well, one of the reasons that this video was delayed to such an extent is because I actually lost my old phone. In fact, the last 3 videos have all been recorded and all their pictures taken with a brand new phone. So if there's any inconsistencies, that's the reason. But enough dilly-dallying. Let us start up this on and off series again as I cover set number 21162, the Taiga Adventure from the LEGO Minecraft theme. It comes with 74 pieces and 4 minifigures. As always, let us start with the figures first. From left to right, we have Steve, a wolf, a fox, and a spooky, scary skeleton. Let us start with the quote-unquote hero of the set, Steve, or the player avatar as he is more plainly referred to. Now, Steve is in a lot of Minecraft sets, and for a long time was the only hero released in the theme until Alex and player skins were introduced. And as such, much of what I say is without a doubt stuff you might have heard before, but considering this is the first time I've really reviewed in depth a LEGO Minecraft set, let's do this anyway. Starting from the top, we see Steve's head is a specialized cube headpiece that is completely incompatible with nearly any headgear that is not of the Minecraft theme. Oof, off to a bad start. It's molded in brown and the print is okay. It's pixelated, but considering that this is Minecraft's aesthetic, it's fine as it fits well. I can't tell if it's meant to be a smiley face or a goatee though, so yeah, there's that critique. Going down to the torso, we see what has to be some of the most bare minimum thing to classify as printing, being a T-shaped chest that is flesh-colored on top of a bright blue torso. There's no back printing either, and the arms are blue with flesh-colored hands. Overall, really not anything that's special. Going down to the legs, we see the sole feature that appears to set this Steve apart from others, in that he has gold pants and boots. On one hand, they are pretty shiny, but who the heck would wear gold armor, let alone an incomplete set? It's the weakest armor in the game, especially when unenchanted. It also has low durability. Like, why? It's terrible. In terms of accessories, Steve wields a Minecraft golden sword. Now, I want to praise the actual mold itself. It has a distinct pixelation appearance that gives it a nice flair that distinguishes it from the sword of other themes. And overall, I think it's a really cool piece and could definitely be used outside the context of Minecraft. But again, I have to ask, why is the recolor in gold? I mean, the recolor is nice to see, but I mean, everyone knows gold is trash. Ironic, I know. Now, the next two minifigures could be argued that they're not technically minifigures at all, but I count them, and so does Lego count them, so I'll just talk about them now. Let us start with the wolf mob. Right off the bat, the specialized headpiece really captures the likeness of the Minecraft wolf and is well done, and I highly appreciate it. Going down, the dark gray plate is used to distinguish this as a wild wolf, whereas dogs have a different colored collar, usually red, though it can be dyed to any color really. Much like all other LEGO Minecraft animals, the wolf doesn't actually have four separate legs. It has two inarticulable bricks that have a groove down the middle that simulates them being four separate bricks. The only point of articulation is the fact that the tail, which can be put up and down, exists. In the games, the level of the tail indicates the health of the wolf. With the higher it is, the more health, and with the lower it is, the less health. Overall, it's a decent little feature, and I think it's a decent little build, but it's definitely held back by the fundamental flaws found in LEGO Minecraft animals as a whole. Now let's go on to the second animal of the set, that being the star of the show, the fox. Unlike the wolf, starting off with the face, we already see a weakness, and it's arguably the weakest part of this build. Okay, so it's a reused cat headpiece. Now this might seem fine at first, but if you know anything about the in-game model of the fox has a completely different shape with a longer snout and slightly larger ears. And I understand reusing pieces when you can to save money, but this is a miss. You really needed to make a completely new head mold for the fox. I know not many people will care, but it is in general something that I think needed to be done. And if they had done that, this model would have been better. The body is even more simplified than the wolf or the average animal mob, being one stud unit wide, with little bitty black feet. It's a similar construction to the cats or the ocelot, but I think this actually is okay, considering the slim, small size of foxes in-game. Going to the back, the tail is pretty interesting in that in addition to flipping up and down, it can rotate around as well, thanks to a brown clip piece. And I would like to say that it should have been orange. I don't know, the brown just seems out of place, and this is one of the instances where I think they actually should have done a recolor as opposed to just reusing a piece. I mean, it's annoying, but yeah. I do like how the tail can articulate, though. Overall, this is a flawed but fine figure. The fourth and final figure of the set is a Minecraft skeleton. Starting with the head, it uses the same headpiece as Steve, but molded in white and given a minimalistic skull face. The printing is really nothing to talk about, but gosh, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm kind of bothered by the nose. It seems more obvious than it is in the games. I mean, they have a nose print in the games, but it's a lot more toned down. Beneath that, we get all the typical skeleton pieces, the rib cage torso, the bony arms that are articulated so that they can hold weapons, the bony legs with those weird toes. All also perfectly fine, but again, nothing really special to talk about. As it is in mini sets like Steve, it is really nothing all that special. In terms of accessories, he wields a pixelated bow piece, and unlike the sword, it does kind of look off. I don't know why, but it's somehow more pixelated than even the ones that are in the game. I don't know. The pixelation worked fine with the sword, because even outside the context of Minecraft, you could play it off as being some sort of elemental sword. But in this case, it just looks bad. Sorry about that, guys. I know people like this mold, but it's just not for me. Now, let us cover the pieces overall. And in general, there are a bunch of generic plates and studs that I'm sure people will find useful. I will say, I like the sand green pieces. Those are going to be definitely useful in mocking. The TNT prints are also usable. There is this specialized fire piece that is used to simulate Minecraft fire, like how undead mobs catch fire in the daylight unless they're in water or beneath a tree. It is pixelated, but not quite in an ugly way like the bow. There are these bush pieces as well. Overall, the pieces are fine, but there's nothing really all that special outside of the few things I've mentioned before. Now, let us see what these pieces build. Here we see an extremely small landscape of what is presumably a taiga biome, thanks to the distinct color of the grass. It has a few details. First, there's a pair of what are referred to as in-game berry bushes that in-game can be harvested for berries. Another little detail is this red mushroom that can either be harvested for food or potions in-game. You know, obviously you shouldn't walk out and eat mushrooms in real life. That can lead to bad things. There is a single action feature of this build which plays into this little side build. Let us talk about it quickly first. It's a TNT block that consists of 5 pieces. Overall, a fine little thing, but nothing really all that ornate. We've seen it in different sets, so yeah. But back to the action feature. Look here to a little build representing dirt, stone, and snow. We see there's this little hand piece that when you press it down, the bricks go flying out. And I do mean flying. If you press it really hard, you can actually lose this piece, and it's pretty big, so that's quite the accomplishment. Overall, it's a pretty average action feature, all considered, but considering that it's pretty strong, I think it overcomes its averageness. So overall, what are my thoughts here? Well, firstly, I think the minifigures are overall average. I mean, Steve and the skeleton are nothing special. You can find them in pretty much any other Lego Minecraft set. The build is small and really nothing huge. It has an action feature, but it's not really, if you think about it, all that impressive. The fox is fundamentally flawed thanks to the face, and I could have looked past that if the face was fine. The wolf is good though. I will say that I thought the wolf minifigure was the best part of this set. And of course, it's a licensed set, which knocks it down a peg. I mean, licensed sets are cancer if you know anything about Lego. Overall, buy it if you want, but I suggest you save money for a different set. I'm the Dark Master, and join me next time on my Lego reviews. Have a great day, everybody.